Hi everyone, thanks for tuning in. My name is Linda. Thanks for clicking on this video. I wanted to do this transmission for the collective. Today is August 28 here where I live in Bali, Indonesia. Tomorrow is a new moon. It's a new moon in Virgo. We've already been in Virgo season for a few days now. I've been enjoying the shift in energy, and I just wanted to do a collective transmission to kind of give an overview of the energy that's available to us around this time. This reading is not an astrology report. I'm not an astrologer. I'm a channel, and this is a channel transmission. And this will give some guidance and instruction about how to work with the energies that we have available to us around this time. It's not specifically just for this one day or even for a week. This reading is relevant whenever you watch it. And the energies described in this reading will be probably having a reach of about 2 to 4 weeks. So work with the energies that are available. Watching this reading will definitely help you to define and understand how to construct and work with what's available. So tune in with me while I shuffle. Check in with your higher self. Please set aside any distractions. Don't multitask at this time. It's really important that you bring all of your focus and all of your attention to the reading. That way you will get the most out of your time with me. Also, by doing that, you're actually contributing to the collective energy that the reading provides. So it's actually your energy, and the collective energy that I'm reading is actually the energy of the higher self of all the participants that are actually watching this reading. So by you bringing your presence to this reading, you're definitely part of it. You're not just a witness or an observer. You are contributing your energy here. So please be aware of that and bring all of your presence and your radiant energy to the reading. Don't multitask. Don't be on your phone messaging or scrolling other things. Put headphones on, and you can even close your eyes. You don't necessarily have to watch this reading to get the most out of it. It's more important that you listen and feel the energies that are being transmitted. So I'm going to do the energy transmission for the collective using the Voyager deck. And once that reading is complete, I will take the Morgan Greer deck and pull a few cards for each sign to give a little bit more specifics for individuals who may be wanting to know how specifically the energies might be playing out for them during this cycle. So one last shuffle. Thanks for your patience while I get set up here, and let's get started. So this spread I developed is called the holographic mandala. It's my multi-dimensional take on the Celtic cross spread, and it will give a very rich and very layered reading for everyone here. So already quite a few high, heavy hitting, powerful major arcana cards coming out in the spread. I'll get to those in a second. Great. Okay. So what we have here across the central axis of the reading. Now this axis here from the foundation of the reading to the crowning card describes the energy from the unconscious mind, that is which is unknown to you, and that which is known. And it crosses through the center of the reading, which describes the central theme and the general challenge or obstacle that we're facing. So before I turned on the camera and I was getting prepared for this reading and I was pre-shuffling, a few cards flipped out of the deck. I was actually pre-shuffling with the Morgan Greer deck at first. And this card, actually, the Four of Worlds, popped out. Along with a couple of these other cards here, actually. So there's definitely repeating themes that are at play that I'm tuning into here. So the Four of Worlds as the crossing card is very interesting. To me, it's about consolidation, but it's also about boundaries. It's about withholding energy. It depends on the other context, of course, in the reading. But in this spread, how I'm feeling this is that there could be an energy here at this time for us to overcome, and this could be confirmed here by the Hermit card in reverse at the foundation of the reading. By the way, the Hermit card is often considered by most as to be the card which most identifies or articulates the Virgo energy. We've just moved into Virgo season, so that's interesting to see it come out here in this reading in the foundation. Back to the Four of Worlds, which I was talking about. And as I said, the Hermit card kind of, in a way, is contributing to this interpretation that I want to give here about the Four of Worlds being the crossing card, being that in my understanding, or in my excuse me, readings, I often interpret the Four of Worlds to be about boundaries, restriction, consolidation, limitation. Can be withholding energy as well. It can be, but these are neutral terms. You know, there's not good or bad in these words. It's just neutral energy of what that card describes. So when I say withholding, it doesn't mean that you're like negatively holding out on someone or whatever. It simply means energy is holding, right? And Hermit can be about being withdrawn. It can be about being isolated. It can be about being alone, having alone time. Again, none of these terms are negative. These are neutral words. Everything is neutral. And simply seeing the Hermit card come out here in reverse at the foundation with the Four of Worlds in the crossing card position of this reading. It's also in reverse. I read the crossing card in upright and reversal as well. Crossing over the Child of Crystals in reverse as well. This card is the Page of Swords. And the crowning card is the Hangman, also in reverse. So all these cards across the central axis in the reverse position lend themselves to the interpretation here that there is a time here of release. There is a time here of kind of, I'm hearing excavation. So things being exposed and revealed and released here. And I feel, as I'm saying that, I'm kind of feeling an energy connecting back to the eclipses that we've had this year, where there is somehow, what I'm feeling now and what my guidance is sharing is that there is energy in this moment of this cycle that we're currently in right now, with this kind of 2-week period that I described in the introduction, where you may be getting some clarity and understanding about issues, or I'm hearing contrivances. Is that the word? Issues that may have been exposed or released or highlighted during the last 2 eclipses that we've had this year. You may be starting to get some understanding about what you're being shown and what you've been taught during those experiences. This time may be a moment in your unfolding where experiences or understandings may be clarified and highlighted in a way that gives you a sense of coming to fruition here with the Nine of Worlds in the outcome. With the Child of Wands, there's a feeling here of like wholeness with that. It may not necessarily be something that you like, right? The solution or the information or the answers that you receive or the clarity that you receive may not necessarily be things that you want to hear. They might not be the outcome that you were hoping for, but there's understanding here. There's understanding, there's clarity, there's wisdom, and also a type of freedom, you know. For some of you, what I'm getting here is like, there's these 4 cards down here in the foundation of the reading. You have Tower reversed, 6 of Cups reversed, and you have Death with Woman of Worlds upright. So these 4 cards here in these positions of the reading are telling me that for some of you, what I've just described there with regard to clarity around issues or information that has come to light recently that may be connected to something that was once concealed now being revealed, and may have connection to the eclipses that we've experienced this year, is that there is some kind of, for some of you, there's something really painful in this. There's something devastating. There's something that has shaken you to your core. There's something that has triggered an emotional response in you, which may be causing some of you to grieve. There may be some experiences here of loss or some kind of changes in your daily routine that are very vivid. You may have lost someone close to you. This could actually be a physical death of someone. You may have lost a partner. There may have been some kind of changes in your daily life that has kind of created an entirely different landscape of your routines in your day-to-day life, and that could be very painful for some of you. Of course, I'm not trying to diminish that. There is also here, though, as I said, there's something with this Nine of Worlds here coming to light, where there's a type of fruition energy, where there's some kind of completion or revelation or understanding that, again, it may not be good news, it may not be what you'd hoped, but it's kind of this feeling of like a bittersweet sensation of culmination here, because it may not be the news that you wanted, but it's like something that needed to be revealed to you is being vividly shared and shown to you in a way that's undeniable, And again, it may not feel nice, it may not be pleasant, it may not be the joyous kind of upliftment that you'd hoped for, but the feeling here is that it's better that you know. It's a feeling of liberation through awareness. And again, not necessarily a good feeling, but it's like better that you know than to not know, right? So what we could be talking about here for some people is that you may become aware that someone that you've been dealing with, it could be a close personal relationship, it could be your partner, it could be a close friend, a neighbor, a family member or something. There could be something here about some type of betrayal or some type of, backbiting or behavior that's been going on behind your back that may have been revealed to you, that it has culminated or catalyzed your situation in a way that it's like almost like there's no going back. And it's important here for you to understand that while that may be painful, it's like removing a splinter, right? Or removing some kind of something that's been inside you or been a part of you that actually now is shown to be no longer worthy of being part of your matrix or part of your wholeness, and needs to be extracted and removed. And there's some pain and discomfort in that, but better out than in, It's better to know than to not know. It's better to have that extraction happen rather than keep something and have your body and your life and your whole entire being have to kind of adapt to that thing which is actually poison, right? I hope this is making sense. Let's have a look at the bottom of the deck. Man of Worlds, Emperor, both upright. Balance, upright. Balance is the Justice card from other decks. In this deck it's called Balance. And the Man of Wands. So there's three really strong masculine energies here, like king energies, Man of Worlds with an Emperor and Man of Wands. So there's strong fire energy here. You also had in your reading two women upright. So Woman of Cups, Woman of Worlds, Man of Worlds, Man of Wands. So there's this kind of counterpart energy here. All the cards are in the upright position with regards to those. There's 10 of Worlds here at the bottom of the deck. I'm going to take that as well, because I do feel like some of what we're talking about here for some of you is family energy. There's energy around family, whether it's marriage or your like brothers and sisters or family. There's something about legacy and information coming through with regard to maybe the father figure. Some kind of, what I felt from the main reading here is that some kind of energy of instability or something which, like as I described earlier, some kind of information that came to light which revealed something which was at one time concealed, maybe has caused a shake-up, and that energy of that information being revealed has had a catalyzing effect. But the ultimate point of the occurrence is to create balance and harmony again. So what was stable, or what may have felt like it was stable, may have been built on the illusion, the foundation of an illusion. And that could be what this Four of Worlds is saying too. Like there needed to be some kind of shake-up to dissolve a kind of delusion or a kind of Seven of Cups. Yeah. Delusional energy or some kind of like, there may have been this sort of lack of awareness which may have like seemed to be reality, but may have actually been a kind of fantasy or an illusion or like a kind of feeling like a Neptunian energy with that. Yeah, something around what you felt was, what you thought was real, or what you were living as your reality actually may have been built upon the foundation of lies and mistruths. And some information that has come to light may have been very unsettling and caused a disruption and caused a catalyzation. But the end result is, as you see here, all these upright cards, is that there is a return to stability, there is a return to fairness and righteousness, there is a return to a stable foundation, even though there has been a disruption, and that may have been very uncomfortable. The point that it lands to is a place of harmonization, balance, fairness, righteousness, justice, and from that point you can then build onward and upward to create something that's really stable and long-lasting. That's the Ten of Pentacles here. There's an element here of there needing to have been some kind of disruption or extraction of something that which was, you know, something had been created which may have been built upon a foundation which was not entirely pure or correct, and the necessary disruption revealed something which was concealed, and that which may have been concealed could have been something which was illegal. I just heard there could have been some illegal element. There could have been some kind of dishonesty or some kind of a kind of misuse of power is what I'm hearing. So a necessary disruption to what was seemingly a stable situation, but actually was built upon a foundation that was not really stable and sturdy. That's the Tower here. So perhaps an uncomfortable time for a lot of you. Perhaps there's been a lot of compromise happening. There may have been a lot of shake-ups and shifts, a lot of disruption, a lot of disturbance to your daily routines. But now things are landing in a place where there's a harmonization, a real stable firmament has been created. Now that toxic element or that disruptive element or that dishonest element has been revealed and removed. What was concealed is now revealed and removed. And so there is a harmonization and a stability here that you are now able to work forward with, onward and upward from here, to create a really empowered, empathic, abundant legacy for you and yours. Okay? I feel that's it for the general reading here. Let me just check over and see if there's anything else that needs to be added. A steep learning curve, that's what I'm hearing here. This year has been a steep learning curve for a lot of people. There's been a lot of rude awakenings, that's what I hear. Rude awakenings. And very challenging, yes, very challenging, but necessary and very timely actually. I think for a lot of people, whatever you've been going through this year, if it has been very challenging and maybe even disturbing, it's the timing is right. There is an energy here that's available to you to help you see that which you may have been creating with, the energy you've been building with and creating with, may not have been as pure or as efficient or as worthy, I'm hearing, as some of you may have been under the illusion of. And so the necessity of this disturbance hopefully is now clarified, and you understand that although that was not really easy, it was very challenging and it was not very fun at all, the place that you've come out to here now is much more whole, much more aligned, much more clear, stable. I'm hearing loyalty as well. So for some people, there may have been an element here of the removal and extraction of people from your life, whether that be partnerships, either business partnerships, but husbands, wives, family members, even I just heard cousins for some of you. So like if there's like family and friends that you may have been obviously very bonded with, of course, like you may have grown up with these people. You could have spent many years of your life with these people building. And so that's part of what I feel here with the Death and the Six of Cups and even the Tower card. There's this element of grief here as well. For some people that may have been moving on from relationships that they have been creating with for a long time. And maybe before this year, before this eclipse, these last couple of eclipses, you might have already had an inkling that this was necessary, but simply by the nature of life, sometimes we just keep going, even if we know it's not ideal and it's not perfect, because it's hard to make changes. It's really hard to make changes, especially when there's so much water under the bridge and so much time has gone by. But that's the power of the Tower card, and that's the energy that Uranus brings as well. Uranus has been really active in making transitions through the last few months of our lives for everyone. Everyone's been feeling the energy of Uranus. So big changes for a lot of people. Some of you may not even recognize your life right now if you look back over the last few months and see what's happened and where you've come from and what you were doing at the, maybe 12 months ago or 6 months ago may look very different. Like you could be in a different job, different relationship, different house, different city, different country even. And yeah, a hard, steep climb, but definitely worth it. Like to see where it's bringing us out to with this collection of cards from the extended part of the reading, it definitely is worth it. I do feel it's worth it. Some of you might still be in this energy here, and so hopefully this reading will help you understand that even though there may be some trauma around letting go, there could be some attachments here. It's really important to see that whatever, as much as you're willing to leave behind and let go, and I'm hearing bury the attachments or let go of the attachments, what's waiting for you and what's available for you is a greater exponentiated version of your life in a way that's much more real and grounded in honesty and in trust and in authenticity, in righteousness, in fairness. So don't be afraid to let go, because if you keep clinging to the old life, to the old people, to the old stories, you could potentially miss out on something much grander, a greater hopeful kind of future that is available, that your spirit guides and your higher self and your whole entourage of helpers has been facilitating and orchestrating for you. So cooperate as much as you can. Really strive to kind of rise up to the energies that are showing themselves up for you, and participate as much as you can in transitioning. Gonna leave it there. That's a general reading for everyone. Hope you found that helpful. I'm going to take the Morgan Brew deck now and shuffle again. This time I'm going to pull a few cards for each sign. Again, this is not an astrology reading. I am not an astrologer. This is a channeled message. I just use the astrological signs as a way of organizing the content. I would strongly suggest that you watch the whole reading to the end, because all of the messages can be valid and useful to you. If you're into astrology though, what you could do is, like, if you know where the signs land as far as your houses, you can apply the messages that come through for each of the different signs according to the house that your chart falls into. But in general, more or less, all the readings that I do are timeless wisdom, and all the messages can be valuable and useful to you. Just take what you need. Always be honest. Be open. Make sure that you're tuned into your higher self, and have your higher self tuned into me, so that your messages can get passed along to you. So do that right now. Check in with your higher self. Ask your higher self to connect to my higher self, so we can get a feedback loop here going on. And send your energy over into the deck so I can get really clear messages for you. We're going to start with Virgo here, since we're in Virgo season now. Happy birthday to all the Virgos. Virgos are some of my favorites. Don't tell anyone. So, okay, Virgo. Let's take a look here. Two of Cups. Interesting, we have Two of Cups there in reverse. And Six of Wands. Awesome. So, I'm going to take one more. Five of Wands. There's something here about victory and success. And I'm hearing illumination. Illumination. Let's take a look at these three cards. So, Two of Cups came out first. Then Six of Wands. Yeah. And then Five of Wands. So, how I'm feeling this is that there is some type of victory, some type of success, and there is definitely like a feeling of like a bonding and closeness. But with this Five of Wands here, I feel like there's some kind of I feel like this is internal. I don't think this is an external argumentative or conflict. This is some kind of internal doubts that, like, you got all this, right? There's this like success and glory and victory and communication as well, but this Two of Cups here is saying like appreciation and like a union, that there's a successfulness in a union or in a partnership or in a dialogue or whatever. But this Five of Wands is telling me that there is still in you, there is some insecurities and this inner doubt that may be seeping in, that you need to address. You need to be aware that, like, you could potentially be I don't want to use any strong language here, because like sabotage is the word that comes up, but that's too strong here. I just feel like there's what the message here is that you need to be aware of your inner dialogue and speak kindly to yourself, and also work if you're hearing inner doubt and confusion and lack of self-worth or insecurities coming up in the face of something that's already like externally successful and wonderful. Acknowledge it, own that, because you could be potentially poisoning or spoiling something which is beautiful and sincere and proud, I'm hearing as well. If you don't overcome your internal insecurities and doubts and fears and worries, you could be projecting this onto this, which is it's not the same thing. This you need to own on your own. This is yours. This is what this is. This is already successful and reflect mutually acknowledgement and reflection of like beauty and integrity. If you try to bring this kind of energy to this, you could spoil something that's beautiful. Be careful. Deal with your own insecurities. Okay, Virgo. Libra. Strength. 9 of Pentacles. Ooh. And Temperance. Wow. I kind of want one more. Do I want that? No. So, Libra. Strength. 9 of Pentacles and Temperance. I feel like saying congratulations here. I feel like this is like you get a pat on the back. Somehow, what I feel with these 3 cards is that you really have risen up to the challenges that you've been facing through this year. And you have come to this place where, I don't know how to describe it. Just give me a second to feel that, the energy of this impression that I'm getting. It's something like, You have been able to locate in you the places where you may have otherwise, it's kind of like this energy from the previous reading. It's like where you might have otherwise tried to point the finger outwardly or project put responsibility in places where it doesn't belong. It seems like in the circumstances that you're dealing with right now, or in regard to this general energy of this time period that we're talking about, but I feel like this is almost a culmination of your year until this point right now. These 3 cards is kind of telling me that you have embodied a space of being witness to your own insecurities and being able to own them in a way that helps quell them or diminish them or neutralize them in a way that enables you to kind of be, self-loving and self-forgiving and almost placate the temptation to rise to anger when something doesn't work out the way you've imagined that it could. And maybe you're able to locate and identify the places where your own insecurities have been projected outwardly in ways that may have sabotaged the circumstance or may have made it seem like someone else was to be responsible for something that actually wasn't really, their place to own or to claim, right? I feel like you've made huge strides during this year, and there's a kind of it's beautiful. I feel like a pride, but not in an arrogant way. It's like you I feel proud of you, but I also feel like you also can be feeling proud of yourself for having really come such a long way in this regard. Because you may have waited lifetimes to actually grasp this particular lesson that you seem to be getting a hang of it. It's not to say that you'll never deal with this again in your life, because life is like a undulation and there's no it's not a linear progression of experiences. But I feel confident that now you know what it feels like, so you can embody this again when these kinds of issues arise, if they arise in the future. So that was Libra. Scorpio. 2 of Wands, 10 of Wands, and the Chariot. Okay. 2 of Wands and 10 of Wands, and the Chariot. There's a lot of deciding to be done here. There's decision making to be done. But I feel like you've passed the tipping point of being unsure. I feel like for Scorpio, what I'm sensing here with these 3 cards is that you may have been waiting months to make a decision, and it could have been like a lot of what the energy of this reading gave is like maybe there was issues coming to your attention. There was some information being revealed. And somehow you may have been holding on, maybe even for a little bit longer than you might have otherwise felt was reasonable. But your decision to make your ability to make a decision may have been slightly impeded by a lack of information, which now you have. And so here I'm hearing trajectory. So you might have been holding back for some reasons, and obviously that's going to be different for everyone. This is a general reading. But now I'm feeling this energy of the Chariot where I hear all bets are off. All bets are off. And now you're just going your direction, going your way, without the impediments of feeling the need. What I feel with this Ten of Wands is that you've been feeling responsible for other people. You may be feeling the burden of how other people may have needed you or demanded your attention or your energy. And now you're like, I cannot hold back my progression for you. Right? And that's totally fair. You don't have to say that in an aggressive way, or you don't even have to say it at all. I think it's very empowering for you to make decisions based on your own path, your own impulses towards your growth, your progression, your personal journey, your endeavors, your path, whatever that is, whatever you feel your drive is pushing you towards, whatever you're motivated towards, whatever your passions are. There's no humming and hawing anymore, I feel like, with this, from this Two of Wands here to this, the Chariot here, which is kind of a similar energy actually with this polarity energy. I feel now that there is not the uncertainty of like your ability to feel like unfettered and able to like pursue that which is clearly being shown to you as the way for you. You're taking that now. You're taking that way, moving forward. And no shade or anything to the people that you may be embodying this kind of feeling for you, of like what your responsibilities might have been. This is just you moving forward now with a clarity, with an understanding of a purpose, and even if you don't know exactly what that is, it doesn't matter. It's more about you understanding that the only person you need to be responsible for is you. Your wellness and your wholeness and your contentedness entirely depends on how you are self-caring and self-nurturing, and that includes how you prioritize your time. And if you're putting other people's needs and wants before yours, that's not self-caring. That's not healing. Other people may want you to feel like that's your responsibility or that's more important, but it's not. Each person needs to carry their own responsibilities. That was Scorpio. Sagittarius, Death, Empress reversed, and Five of Pentacles reversed. Okay. Death, Empress in reverse, and Five of Pentacles in reverse. Let me just tune into this. There's definitely something to do here with self-worth. There's also something here about your health, physical wellness. Like the Empress and the Five of Pentacles both can talk about health and well-being, physical health, abundance also. There's definitely a correlation here. So I'm feeling here with the Death card that this could be describing here something similar, again, with relation to the general reading that we gave. Excuse me, sorry. That you could be transitioning, and part of what this revelation here, what was revealed, what may have been concealed and revealed, you may be coming to an awareness about how your own personal journey and your path, your trajectory towards your personal aspirations and goals may have been revealing things to you about where issues around I said wealth, but I meant to say worth, but it's obviously connected there. How your perception of worthiness, I'm hearing gain also, is connected to, again, like sort of self-confidence issues, self-worth. Also health issues can also be connected to those things too. So just have a look at those things. If any of that's kind of touching on some points for you that feel relevant, and if you feel triggered by what I'm saying, that could be something for you to look at as well. But more than that, what I feel is, and this is actually something that's been coming up for me personally, but I feel for the collective, is that this time of like, you know, excavating and exploring and examining these kinds of things can actually, we may be at the point now where the tipping point has happened to understand that what I'm saying here is that if you spend too much time in this examining space of these kind of things, you could be missing the point, and you could be, again, holding yourself back, and you might be keeping yourself in and activated in this energy of those exact issues. And perhaps what the Death card is sharing here with this with this reading for Sagittarius is that simply just move on from that energy. Become awakened to it, become alert to it. But this doesn't mean necessarily that you need to spend time now examining it and going over it again and again, or like exploring issues from the past or trauma from the past or any kind of events or shadow aspects from your past that may have been the cause of this kind of energy. Move on from it, just become aware of it, and concurrently as you move through life, if you are becoming aware of this issue showing up again in current events, it's just about your awareness, bringing your awareness to it, shining light on it, staying lucid to it, and transmuting and transforming energy that may be playing out in this way as it's happening, simply with your awareness. Capricorn. Magician reversed, Tower reversed, Page of Cups reversed. Okay, Capricorn, what's going on here? I feel, Capricorn, Magician reversed, Tower reversed, Page of Cups reversed. I feel this is very connected to the general reading here, because we did have Tower reversed. We have two pages in this reading as well. Not Page of Cups, but we have Page of Wands and Page of Swords. Capricorn. What I feel is here is that for some Capricorn who are watching this, you may not, you may have understood that reading, the general reading that I gave, but you may not be able to see yet what I described in the final extended part of the reading. And I feel that's what this is talking about here. Like, you might still be in this place where you're trying to make sense of events. You're trying to synthesize information that in order for you to be able to kind of pop out on the other side of a difficult tunnel and see that it was for a point, for a reason. So seeing these three cards in reverse here is kind of saying, that's what I'm feeling here, is that you may not have been able to deduct the opportunity that may be disguised as a loss. You might still be in the grieving space, you might still be in the confusion space, you might still feel a little bit lost and battered and even violated as a result of what you might have experienced over the last year. So I'm not trying to bypass here, I'm not trying to dismiss. You are where you are, and that's totally okay. Keep going. There's nothing different you need to do. You're already healing, you're already whole. You just need to kind of keep going. And at some point, eventually, clarity will come to you and understanding will come to you, and you'll be able to see how to alchemize the situation to turn it into something that's beneficial to you. So don't worry. Don't worry, there's nothing you need to do differently. You're already well underway. That was Capricorn. Aquarius, Nine of Cups, Page of Wands, and Nine of Wands reversed. Interesting. 2 nines and a page. So Nine of Cups upright, Page of Wands, and Nine of Wands reversed. What I feel this is saying here is that you have decided, you've decided to be contented. And that's all it is. It's a decision. Happiness is a decision, wellness is a decision, contentedness is a decision. Whatever you decide is what is, right? And I love this. So somehow you've been able to overcome this kind of weariness, of exhaustion, of overworking. You kind of have decided to just embody this kind of space and maybe stop feeling like nobody notices or cares how hard you work and how much you're doing for them. And you're doing it for yourself now. It doesn't mean you don't care about people, or you don't contribute, or you don't like share responsibilities anymore. It's not that. It's more like you've decided to recalibrate the point of the intention, so that rather than it being about what you're doing for others and how you're contributing, it's more about how you are able to be in service in a way that makes you feel whole and contented. And I'm hearing also safe. That was Aquarius. Pisces, Knight of Pentacles, Knight of Cups, 2 knights, interesting, and 4 of Wands in reverse. Something's scratching in my throat. So this is who? Pisces, right? Pisces. Knight of Pentacles, Knight of Cups, and Four of Wands in reverse. How I'm seeing this, I'm hearing approach, and endeavor. Approach and endeavor. I'm hearing miscommunication with this Four of Wands. Okay, Four of Wands reversed, Knight of Pentacles, Knight of Cups. Just bear with me a second here. So what I'm feeling with this is that if there has been some miscommunication or some misunderstanding or I'm hearing closure. I don't think that's for everyone though. That was a specific message for maybe just one person. But what I feel here with this Knight of Pentacles and Knight of Cups is that if there has been some kind of misunderstanding or miscommunication or I don't know, whatever this is, whatever this Four of Wands is, something's gone awry. But I feel like between two people there is an earnest and an authentic desire to approach the other person and come with an open-hearted offering of a willingness to strive to understand. Okay? I hope that's making sense. I don't want to say outright apology because it may not be that. But there is a desire here for communication. There is a desire to approach. And it may not necessarily even mean that this comes back to this. It's not about that. There's just like a desire and a willingness to approach the other person and communicate. And with a willingness to stay open and receptive to the other, to strive to understand, to be willing to understand. But again, it's not about necessarily one person admitting they were wrong and the other person being right. It's not that. It's just a willingness here. There's willingness. I'm hearing also loyalty and commitment. So yeah, it's not saying that if there was a breakup or if there was some kind of like separation or something, which Four of Wands can be. I'm not saying that there is going to be a coming back together, although it could be. It's more about the space that individuals are holding to want to come together to communicate. That willingness to be open to another person is so huge at times when there has been a falling out or an excommunication, or if something's gone awry in the frequency to the point where individuals are feeling isolated and separated. Just that willingness alone, to come together to approach the other person is so big. It takes so much to do that. It takes so much courage and willingness. So that it's really beautiful energy. After Pisces, Aries, Page of Pentacles, King of Cups reversed, and the Hermit. There's been a lot of court cards in this reading. Okay, Page of Pentacles, upright, King of Cups in reverse, and the Hermit. Give me a sec here. I feel like it's almost the opposite of that reading we just gave there with the Knight of Cups and the Knight of Pentacles. I feel like there's people here that actually don't want to approach each other right now. I think people want their space, and that's what the Hermit is saying. They want their space, but they also need it. People need their space here. People need their space. You need your space. The other person needs their space. Just let it be right now. Don't feel the need to force communication or force meeting, or force understanding. Take your time. Go within. Listen. Be quiet. Be still. Let the other person have their space too. There's some emotion here that needs to be processed and understood and synthesized individually before people can come together to share. So don't try to force something to happen before it's the right time. Just listen. Again, there was the Hermit here in the previous reading in reverse. I do feel, again, like we're connected to this general reading that we gave earlier. If something was revealed through this year, again, could have been connected to the eclipses or not, it doesn't matter. The point is that something may have transpired, information may have come to light, something may have been revealed. And And people may be still reeling from that. People may be dealing with a lot of emotional fallout as a result of that. So just let things be as they are. There's no need to force something to happen. There's no need to try to make communication happen. Just go to your corner and take your time. Breathe. Calm down. Meditate. Listen to yourself. Go for a long walk. Take as much time as you need. And let the other person have the time they need too. Aries. Taurus, 7 of Pentacles reversed, 8 of Cups, and the Emperor. I actually really like this. I like this a lot. What this is saying to me is that there is this urge now towards, and again, we had the Emperor here in the extended cards of the previous readings. A lot of repeating messages here for the signs coming through. So what this is saying to me here, with this 7 of Pentacles in reverse with the 8 of Cups and the Emperor, how I'm seeing this is that there is here, energetically, a person is putting out a lot of effort in order to gain, I'm hearing credibility and stability, right? So that's kind of maybe a little bit vague. I'll try to explain a little bit better. So here, this could be saying like a person may have been spending a lot of time collecting, investing. I'm hearing borrowing also. You may. This could actually talk about money, straight out money specifically. Emperor also. It's all about his coin, right? The Emperor is creating his empire. How I'm seeing this is that you may be using what you have saved previously, or money that you've been collecting or putting away, and or energy. Let's talk in energy, right? You may be tapping into energies that you have previously stored or collected, in a way to put energy and effort out in order to put it back in again, right? That's how I'm seeing this 8 of Cups. So you're putting energy out. You're putting energy out in order to, it's like you're tapping into your reserves in order to go on this long hike to reach the mountaintop, in order to create the next level or the next layer of what it is that you are seeing as the potential for your life path, for your legacy, right? It's beautiful. It's just a stage here where you understand that you may have been collecting and reserving and consolidating your energy to a certain point. Now it's time to utilize that which you have been reserving, pour it into a circumstance right now which will enable you to expand greater. You're investing back into yourself in order to come to a new level of like stability and consolidation that will enable you to then launch something much greater and much bigger. That was Taurus. This reading's getting on 25 minutes. Taurus, Gemini, right? Gemini, 8 of Pentacles reversed, Knight of Swords reversed, Ace of Cups. Okay, this is clear for me. Understood. For Gemini people, you may be feeling some disappointment in your work. You may be feeling a little bit frustrated. There may have been something that, like this, the energy of this Knight of Swords, it's like something hasty that may have interrupted. Like there might have been an energy coming into your workflow, into your project, into your grind, or you may be distracted. There may be something coming across your desk right now that may be causing you to be distracted from your normal routines and practices. And you might find that a bit irritating, but with this Ace of Cups here, I feel like the message here is that it's worthwhile to spend a moment and allow yourself to have that interruption. Let yourself be interrupted so that you can give whatever is landing in front of you the proper scouring that it deserves. You know, like there is no missing out, right? But what I'm feeling here is like if it's worth it for you, I think, to give yourself a little bit of time to have a look at whatever this distraction is, to see if it's for you or not, because it could be for you. It could be the dream of a lifetime. It could be the opportunity of a lifetime. It could be the thing you've been manifesting, but it looks differently than what you had imagined, right? So give yourself a chance. Let yourself be distracted for a minute. You know what I mean? Don't be so tunnel vision with the blinders on that you miss out on something that is actually very exponentiating for you. It has the potential to really exponentiate. Financially, oh, maybe, yeah, but more. This is more about a creative and an emotional abundance that you have maybe the opportunity here to experience and express through something that comes your way that is actually a little bit outside of your norm. Okay, Gemini? Cancer. Four of Swords, reversed. Hierophant reversed. Queen of Pentacles reversed. Cancer. Four of Swords reversed. Hierophant reversed. Queen of Pentacles reversed. This is interesting here because I feel like it's a little bit similar to the previous reading that we just gave there for Gemini. How I'm seeing this is that there is also something that could be coming across your field of reference that can be a little distracting. And how I'm seeing this is that it's actually a test. Whereas with Cancer, whereas with Gemini, I felt that the opportunity that's showing up for them looks like a distraction, and they might want to stay focused on what they're doing, but that distraction might actually be the thing for them. Whereas in your case, how I'm seeing this is that you might be actually being tested here to see that where you are actually may be, how do I say that? In this case, I feel like that what's showing up for you, the distraction that's showing up for you, is actually not for you. But there's a danger here that you could take that opportunity thinking that it's a synchronicity and serendipitous or whatever, but actually it's a test from the universe to see. Because look at the Hierophant and the Queen of Pentacles here, both in reverse. These are both very Taurian cards, and Taurian people are generally pretty good at like valuing themselves and valuing their time, right? It's about value. Partly it's about value. And I feel that this Four of Swords in reverse is saying that you may be getting pulled out of your retreat a little bit too soon with this carrot dangling in front of you. Someone might be like showing you like all the bells and whistles, but it may not have any substance behind it. And there's a little bit of a risky that you might fall into something that is not really for you because you tried to come out of your meditation too soon. I hope this is making sense. The point I'm trying to make here is like make sure that your essence is fully restored. Like if you've been through an experience through this year that, don't coming back to the general reading here that I described, like if there was some kind of extremely potentially excruciating event that's happened that's caused a catalyzation that's bringing you to a place of something that's entirely different from where you were, say 6 months ago or a year ago, don't try to transition too quickly out of that energy until you really know that it's the right time. Because I feel like that's what I'm trying to say here, is that I feel like you're being tested here by the universe to see how far you've come as far as really embodying your true self, right? Because these two cards in the upright position are like fucking authentic and true. And it's from that place that you know without a shadow of a doubt what's for you and what's not for you, right? So how I'm seeing this as, again, in the reverse position here, you may be trying to make decisions or move forward on things before the time is right, and you may not have fully restored and resolved some issues around authenticity, around value, and around self-worth. And there may be some distractions coming across your way that might be trying to pull you out, and it's up to you to really listen to your intuition from a very grounded and humble place to respond without any flinching, to say no to something that you know you should say no to, and don't get tricked into saying yes to something that you're not ready for. I hope this is clear. I'm going to leave it there. That was Cancer. After Cancer is Leo, right? Leo's the last one here. Wheel of Fortune, alright. Devil reversed. And the Four of Cups reversed. Wheel of Fortune, upright. Devil reversed. And Four of Cups. Interestingly, again, I feel like there is also a little bit of a bleed over. This is kind of this interesting story that's gone through here as we've been around the wheel, right? So what I'm seeing here is that, again, there's been a shift for you. There's been a major change in your life that has brought you to this place where you're in this upright Wheel of Fortune position. It's beautiful. And you may have overcome some really challenging aspects, attachments, bondage, addiction, whether yours or someone else's, and you might have like really generated a big liberation for yourself to be able to come out of circumstances that were challenging throughout this year. And now you're in this Four of Cups reverse place where you might also be kind of like, again, with this is 4, right? There's been a bunch of 4s in this reading. 4's a bit of a theme here. Four of Cups reverse here could be saying that you may be, I'm hearing wishing. So perhaps what we're dealing with here for Leos is that this may be a time where you need to just like also rest, Four of Swords, rest. Just take a moment longer here to just not feel rushed forward into making decisions that you may not be ready for, and really use this time to actually craft your vision. Right? Four of Cups in reverse. How I'm seeing this is that you may not yet have actually clarified what it is that you want to call in, what you want to claim and draw towards you. So don't feel rushed to make things happen just yet. It's okay. Take your time. We're not on a schedule. We're not on a schedule. Take your time here to evaluate where you've come from, where you are, and where you want to get to. Think about what you want to work on or create. What I mean, okay, not getting too carried away with like extremely lofty and like whatever, you know what I mean? But legacy. This is part of what I feel like this shift that a lot of people have been going through is like you've been transitioning away from what you might have been doing, which may have at one point been actually perfectly aligned with who you are, but you might have outgrown it. And you might have been dabbling in things that were already, should have been on the way out a while ago. There's no shoulds, whatever, you know what I mean? But the point I'm making here is, if you were dealing with what you, like maybe you were dabbling or trifling with things that you've outgrown, you're not sure where to go to yet, don't feel rushed to make decisions, but really consider carefully, because I feel like for a lot of people, the decisions that we're making now, the processes that we're practicing and embodying now, the protocols that we're putting in place, the systems we're putting in place, the decisions we're making now, the manifestations that we're calling in now are going to have a very long-reaching arc. So be very thoughtful, be very considerate, be very discerning. And maybe use this time to, rather than make decisions if you don't know what decisions to make yet, use this time to eliminate, right? Eliminate. That's maybe what this for. You've got, maybe you have options on the table, but you don't know which one to actually directly go forward with yet. Then, rather than choose one and go forward with, eliminate what's not yours, right? And let that be a starting point. This was a really long reading. Thank you so much. If you made it through to the end, I appreciate your time and energy so much. Thank you so much. Transmission is over. Thanks for your subscription, liking and sharing. It means so much. Please help me grow my channel. Help me work the algorithm by making comments, liking, sharing. It really helps so much to have me show up in playlists for other people watching similar content. It's all about getting shown up in the suggested videos. So please help me out. I'm asking you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you found some things in there you can work with. Yeah, I'll see you in the next reading.